In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the especially merciful. I welcome you to this video where I'll be refuting the claim made mainly by the feminists, which is the claim that men and women are equal in all ways, both mentally and physically, both intellectually and physically. It's a movement that has started in the 20th century mainly, and has grew in our time, the 21st century, in our recent time, in the last 10 to 15 years. It has took a major growth and legitimacy by women. And it is to try to say that men and women are equal intellectually and physically. And I can refute that claim in less than 30 seconds, logically and with evidence. The first point, that men and women are equal intellectually, easily refutable, easily done away with. What's the proof? If you look around you, nearly all inventions that we use today that are among the most intellectually significant inventions have been invented by men. I repeat, by men, not by women. This very website that you're using to watch your videos, you feminists, was invented by men. So if you hate men and you want to be equal to men, show me, list in the comments, show me 10 inventions made by women. Useful, beneficial inventions made by women. And I don't deny that some inventions have been made by women, but the vast majority have been made by men. A handful have been made by women. Yes, I said a handful. You heard me correctly. A handful has been made by women. So if men and women are equal, then we should find that if men and women are equal intellectually, then we should find that inventions that require serious intellectual ability should be equal or similar in occurrences with men and women. But we don't find that. Electricity was invented by men. The internet was invented mainly by men scientists. The car, the automobile, the airplane. This very website that you're using, YouTube, was invented by three men. And one of them, by the way, was a Muslim from Pakistan, or Pakistani background. Facebook was invented by men. Twitter was invented by men. Everything you use, nearly everything you use, was invented by men. If it wasn't for men, you feminists, you would still be living in mud huts. Yes, because the Renaissance only started after the Islamic Golden Age. The era of science and discovery started only after the Islamic Golden Age, around 1,000 years ago, and most of their scientists, the Islamic Golden Age, was men. Now, what I'm saying here is not to say all women are completely useless and that they're not intellectually capable of anything, because they are. But if we're going to say that men and women are exactly the same intellectually in most cases, then you'd be deluded. You'd be stupid. I just proved it. I could list 100 inventions made by men and nearly nothing have been made by women. And if you were to say, well, women didn't have equal rights in the past, so they weren't able to invent anything. Well, women have the ability. For the last 50, 60 years, they have been given the opportunity, especially in the last 30 years, yet they have invented nearly nothing. While men have invented many things, the laptop, the iPhone, the computer, the list goes on. The list can go on. The television. Men, 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 men. What about women? What have women invented? I demand an answer from the feminists. You want to stick your head and say we're smarter than men and that we can do what you can do? Then I dare you. Write 10 things in the comments that women have invented. Besides the lazy Susie and the washing machine and pathetic inventions like that. The second point, that men and women are physically the same. The claim of feminists is men and women are physically the same, exactly the same physically. There's nobody more superior than others. If that's the case, then why? Why when a man beats a woman, you go crying to the police? Or you report them? Or you report for assault? Why? If men and women are both equal physically, you shouldn't have to report anything. You should be able to defend yourself. Typically, when a man gets in a fight with a man, he defends himself. Doesn't have to call anyone. He can simply take care of it himself. Unless, like, there's a weapon or something, then obviously. But otherwise, he would deal with it himself. Women, they cry, they run away, and they report them. In most cases. That's not to say that there are no women who can beat up a man. Well, obviously, there are some women who are not normal. Huge and muscular. That's not the norm. And most of those are doing drugs and steroids. We find that most men are physically bigger than women. We find most cases of rape against women because they're physically weaker to defend themselves. So how is it that you say that they're both physically the same, both intellectually and physically, when clearly most inventions have made by men, not by women, which shows that men are more superior intellectually, and secondly, men are physically bigger, usually, and stronger, and more muscular, and taller than women, which is proof that they're stronger in most cases. And that women cannot physically defend themselves against a man in most cases. So that's simple proof to prove men and women are not equal, neither intellectually or physically. But what we should note, that doesn't mean that man has, because he's more superior intellectually or physically, that he has the right to abuse women, or that he has the right to take advantage of women, or he has the right to harass them or to hurt them. He doesn't have the right. The fact is, nobody would exist on earth if it wasn't for women. Why? Because we all came from women. We all came from our mom's womb. So we must respect our mother, and we must respect the weaker gender, which is women. And that's also not to say that women don't provide anything useful to the society and that you're useless. That's not the case. And that's not to say that they're intellectually deficient entirely. That's not the case. Many of them are very much knowledgeable, and doctors and scientists, researchers and businesswomen. So they are academically intellectual. But in most cases, they don't reach the level of men. But that doesn't mean that they're not intellectual at all. They're not just stones without any brain, without any thought. They have brains, they have intellect, they are educated, and they are smart and useful to the society. They are the backbone of every man. Yes, women are I would say, the backbone of every man. They are the backbone that offers emotional support to every man. If you ask any man when he has problems, who does he go to? He usually goes to his mom or his wife. She gives him the support that he needs. Even though he's physically strong or independent or rugged or tough, they always need someone to lean on. Like little kids. So that's not to say that women are completely useless and of no benefit to the society. They are of great benefit to the society, and they are the backbone of society. The mom does more than the father in the house. For the family, I should say. She's the emotional support. The emotional support, which is extremely important. The man just can't do it. He can't. He can do the hard things, the things that require no emotion. They don't have empathy. They don't have empathy. Women, on the other hand, usually, not in all cases, but usually they have the empathy which makes them excel at jobs that need empathy, like teachers, nurses, doctors. But we find that men, for such job, have a deficiency in properly dealing with the issues because they lack empathy. But we find men exceeding at things that don't require much empathy, like business, research, and development. So both have their strengths and weaknesses. But men, in most cases, are physically and intellectually superior to women. And I proved it. And I say, may the peace and blessings be on the Prophet Muhammad and on all those who follow him until the last day. If you don't agree with what I say, you feminists, I'd like to hear why. Refute me in the comments below.